Good morning. We have Royal Diamond, Brody Craney, amazing man, mentor. And he is so excited about BNI, which when he called me yesterday, I was like, BNI, you have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go. I'm not very excited. But he has solutions that he has found in his community and is super excited. So, Brody, what are you excited about?
Getting these links out to you. Just a minute, it's almost done.
Multitasking at its best.
ACHED there, and the email is out to you, so you all have the links now. Okay,
thank you.
Okay, so let's see. I heard Mike DiMuccio talk, and at an event, and he talked about how when he launched, he launched in his area, and he put the rock in the water, and all the waves started going out, and Nikan grew and grew and grew and grew, and then pretty soon he looked back and realized that the center where everything had started, there was no activity anymore. And I went,
I need another rock.
I need another rock to drop. But meanwhile, life has gotten busy. I mean, we have 4 kids, spouse, real estate to manage, taking care of all the other ripples that are going on out there. And it's different when you drop the rock the second time. And I wanted a way to be able to drop a rock in that wasn't overly stressful to me, but was also effective. And one of the things that has happened across the US is that there are very, very, very few places that have a regular occurring Nikan meeting, a wellness preview, okay? And this was just pre-COVID. And how do I find something that that not just me can do, but other people can do? Because yes, you can bring people to your home, but, and I think it's very effective to bring people to your home. But if you have frequent activity in your home and lots of stuff going on and chaos like I do with 4 teenagers, it's sometimes emotionally stressful to bring people to your home. So I was looking, how do I have meetings, meet people, take people through a process, all that type of stuff. And so now with that mind thought, we'll wind the clock back. It was probably 10, maybe 12 years ago, someone invited me to a BNI meeting. So what is BNI? BNI is a networking group where people get together and talk about their business and share what they're doing, and different business owners network with other business owners. I went, looked at it, slightly intrigued, but it was on a day of the week when I knew I would have other conflicts frequently. I was still traveling a lot with Nikan, and I didn't know if I'd be able to fulfill their obligations, and didn't know if it was a fit. I had somebody else who approached me about coming to a networking group. I went to that networking group. There were only 15, 20 of us, and it was free as opposed to having to pay to go. And everyone just got together and talked about their other business. It was like you were selling to everybody else in the room, and that's as far as it went. And that created its own issues, so to speak. I mean, you're always competing to see who can sell to who that week. So that being said, in November of last year, a fellow musician had invited me to another BNI group, and I was like, yeah. And then she invited me again. And in January, I finally went. It was a brand new group. They weren't even organized yet. They weren't even official. They were still learning how to be a BNI group. One of the representatives from the region came in to show how it was going. And I told them all my challenges. I said, well, I might not always be able to be there on a Thursday morning. And by the way, they meet at different times. You'll have some groups that meet on Saturdays, some groups that meet on a weekday morning early, like Linda is doing right now, 6:30 in the morning. What is she thinking? And then you'll have other groups that meet at night. this particular one was meeting at 9 a.m. on a Thursday. And for me, that worked great because I could still be a part of my kids' morning, get them out the door and go to an event. So I thought, well, that was cool. I learned that there are multiple BNI groups in an area in some places. And if there's not, you can start your own. But here is what caught my attention. I went to the meeting and you get a chance for about a minute to share who you are and what you do. And I thought, well, that will never work. How can you share what Nikken is in a minute? Won't happen. And I thought, well, if you're there for a year, you finally get to get through all the products once. I thought, it's still not going to work because it won't do it. But in BNI, they have a theme. There's two things that caught my attention when I met with this gentleman. He said, first off, you're not here to sell your product to anybody in this room. He said, this group is to become your billboard. And you educate them how to link people with you. And I thought that's going to change the whole dynamic of what's in the room. I'm not there to sell anything, and people aren't there to sell to me, so I don't feel an obligation to buy it or reciprocate any of that. We're just there to become billboards for each other. I thought, okay, well, that's great. The second one is he said that they encourage you to meet with everybody else in the organization to do one-on-ones. I went, oh, I know that term. And I thought, if I have the chance to meet one-on-one with everybody in the group and I can do my demos, they're going to have a chance to feel what this is. He also then talked about, well, you have to be there every week. And he mentioned how that builds trust. And though I want my freedom and not have to be somewhere every week, that trust word really rang loud and clear to me, because people don't buy from you unless they trust you. And you can get a substitute. Somebody else can come. You can have another Nikken person come in your place. You can have somebody you can write up a commercial. Just somebody has to represent Nikken that week if you sign up for it. Well, anyway, long story short, I hem and hawed and then I stopped thinking, hem and hawing isn't good. I just need to make a decision. So I jumped. I did it. I bought a 2-year membership and I plopped in. And they ask you to give referrals every week. So you're asked to refer business to someone else. You have to do a 1-to-1, at least one. I thought, well, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to do 2 and sometimes 3. And at any rate, what's happened is it took about, I knew it would take probably 2 to 3 months at a minimum, more like a year. The guy in charge said, in your business, it's probably going to take a year for the whole trust thing to kick in. But I thought, if I just do a bunch of one-to-ones and I get someone to buy Mag Steps and I get someone to get a comforter and I get someone to get, and it happened like magic. At the weekly meeting, you share a win and you share a shout out to other people in the room of, so-and-so does a really good job with lawn care. This person does a really good job with house cleaning. This person, you really got to use their service because they did this for me, or they did this for my client. It was really good. Well, just yesterday, there were 5 people who went, if you haven't met with Brody, you have got to meet with him now, okay? I got one of his comforters and blah, 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 blah. I got his water system and blah, 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 blah. And somebody else, well, I got his insoles and you wouldn't believe what's happened to my feet. I've had plantar fasciitis for so long, blah, and on and on. I mean, it was magical. I mean, it's the best wellness preview you could ask for without actually being at a wellness preview, okay? Now, it didn't happen overnight. And then you're allowed to give a feature presentation where you get 10 minutes or so to share. And it's not supposed to be selling a product. It's supposed to be teaching other people what you do and how to link, who would be good to link with you. But I ended up with over 10 waterfalls sold right there, boom. and they've come in since then because those people got their waterfalls. And then in the next week, someone went, wow, you should see what's going on with Brody's waterfall. I got it to my nephew and his digestive problems are going away. And you should see it. And so then other people in the group started buying it and referring me to other people. And anyway, long story short, I know that ultimately 5 to 7 exposures is what it takes for someone to, in a short period of time, 5 to 7 exposures for people to make a decision. And not many people are going to get on 5 to 7 Zoom meetings. And you can do emails, and you can give extra information. You can give a text here and there. And there are ways to do it. I do it individually outside of this BNI thing, but I've had fun with this. And I'll be honest with you. This is a group of, we started at 20, we're over 40 people now. But I have this list of people that I now trust. So I'm in my NECAN appointment and asking people, how's life? What's going on? And they said, well, I had this happen, but I've got, my daughter's going through a divorce. We're looking for a really good attorney. And I go, oh, I know someone you should go see. In fact, this guy is just amazing. I had him do all my estate planning and blah, blah, blah. You need to go do that. And someone says, well, I need a cleaner. I know an absolutely amazing person, because what they ask in BNI is that if you receive a referral from someone in BNI, that you give your absolute best service to that person. And I know that when I send someone to these people who I now trust, because I've done the one-to-ones with them, that they're going to get the best service possible. So I'm now a walking billboard of I have this whole list of professionals that I can refer to people. And so it makes, in some ways, me more valuable to my clients, because I've got great people to refer. So any rate, long story short, Linda.
I have a question though, but
yeah.
That.
Yeah, I'm sure there's lots of questions. Go for it.
So when you do sit down with this individual, or I don't know if you're sitting down with them or doing a Zoom with them on the one-on-ones, are you sitting down with them mostly?
Mostly sitting down, like 95% of it sitting down. So if it's a, you know, in the height of COVID, I learned a lot through the university. I'm subbing, they're having problems in their piano department, so they've asked me to fill in, and I'm a part-time professor at USU, but it's been a really cool thing because I've learned a ton in the music department about how COVID is spread. And it's small confined rooms, and you're there for over a half hour. Small confined rooms, there for over a half hour. So if you're meeting in larger open spaces, a larger living room, or all those types of things, your risk factor in spreading is dramatically decreased. And I just will wear masks and all that type of stuff. But yes, I'm doing one-to-ones.
So what do you do in your, what are you bringing?
Okay, so yes, Linda wanted me to cover what doing in a one-to-one. Before I jump to that, are there any other questions about what BNI is, how it works, or any of that types of things before we move forward?
How do you find one that starts at 9 a.m. and not 7?
No, yeah. So I'll give Patty, who's my friend who started this one here. She went to a BNI, liked the concept, but there was already a financial planner there. She does financial planning. And so she went to another one in town, and the vibe that was there did not match. And so she went to another one, and again, vibe did not match, and they already had a financial planner. And so she asked, could I start one? So just know that if you go, by the way, you can go to every BNI chapter 2 times for free and just make your name known there. And you'll find some people that already know who BNI, or already know who NECAN is, and they're looking for a good rep anyway. But that being said, you could start your own chapter if you wanted to.
I go to BNI.com or search it, Google it, I guess.
Yep. Yeah. And you'll find, you just search BNI Florida or BNI Tampa, whatever, and there'll be a map that comes up that tells how many groups there are, and you may have to call. Actually, there is a chart that tells when they meet and so forth. Just search around the website, so you'll find
someone from.
It does get a little overwhelming when you think about every week and having to get a substitute if you can't go. I mean, even doing this every week, sometimes I'm like, Barbara, or, can you cover for me?
Oh, absolutely. And you can miss 3 times in 6 months. Okay. After that, you might be on a probation with their group, but if you have substitutes, you can do it. So I was the exact same way, but I wound back to when I started NECAN and having regular wellness previews. Ours were on Thursday nights. And if you're going to build a business, you are there every Thursday night. You just do it. Mm-hmm. So any rate, any other questions? It's not for everybody, but I would suggest to you that if you're looking for a great way to get your volume in and to have things grow, I've gotten business builders out of it. And I've got customers who have led me to business builders, because you can't talk network marketing in their meeting. You only talk your product. But in the one-to-ones, you can tell them your ultimate referral is, and you can talk the network marketing portion. So any rate, have loved that. So one-to-ones.
Brody, it's Gary with a question.
Shoot.
So give us a fast forward. You've been attending the group now since January, so it's been about 10 months. And if you were to give sort of a balance sheet at the end of that.
2,000 to 5,000 in volume per month.
Wow, that sounds great.
Now, I erase. So January, I was still evaluating. I joined in, I think it was March when I finally joined. So it's March till now, and don't count on making anything your first 3 months. And count on being really nice. Count on being fun. Count on being your best you. Okay. Count on doing one-to-ones and getting to meet people and know people. And, you know, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Read the book, then go.
Brody, I'm glad you
What's the
mentioned the thing.
ballpark fee?
The fees. What are the fees? I think it's almost 600 for a year, just under 1,000 for 2 years.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, but it's well paid it back and continuing for. I mean, I give an example. I've got one gal that she does duct cleaning, and you think, how is the Nikan people going to make a partnership with the duct cleaner? Well, she got some stuff, loved it, and one of her ask one days was that she wanted to put out coupons or perks for people who used her service. I thought, well, I can offer a perk. I could offer a free wellness consultation, or I could offer a free magnetic massage. And so she had 4 of the businesses that offered a perk that she can offer to her employees. And just this last 2 weeks, I've done 3 different appointments, rollouts for her clients. And now Katie, who's the duct owner, she's now a Nikan distributor, and she's building a little Nikan team with all the, I'm out doing the work for her, but I'm happy because I've got these things going on. And so you end up partnering up and helping with each other and those types of things. Her husband has fallen madly in love with our comforter, and he's out every alternative medicine person in town referring and linking me up with. And there's a wellness clinic in town that's now marketing Nikan stuff, thanks to them. So it's just everything will lead to something. That I've loved this because, but and Gary, the thing that I said to begin with about you got to go in and be your best you. For people to refer you, they've got to like you and they've got to trust you. And so I just go do my one-to-ones, and I be really nice and have some fun. And I don't expect to sell anything to the people in BNI. They all buy, but I don't. But I give the information and give your asks. Give your ask. So like 1 week, my ask was, who do you know that is at their wits' end for their health puzzle? They've been to every doctor they can, and they don't know how to figure it out. That's a good person to send to me. And I got 3 calls that week of, I know this person. The other one said, I know this person. I know this person. Boom, off we went. So this week, mine was, I pulled out my insoles and I said, I just put my insoles under someone who hasn't been able to feel their foot for 10 years. They've got drop foot. They can't move their foot. They haven't done anything for 10 years. And in 15 minutes of having this insole on, they were having tingling going on and all this stuff. And I said, if you know people who have feet and their feet hurt, you send them my way. And that was my ask this week. There's something very specific to get them thinking about. And I got 2 referrals. So, you know, it's good. I love it. So anyway, any other questions about BNI specifically?
So the presentation, when you had your own 10 minutes, did you do it on the waterfall?
Yeah, because so it was the least weird of our products in my mind. And I did they've got a really amazing education system. Like it's, wow. They've got a whole series of podcasts. They've got a whole series of online stuff, and they've got a whole, and part of it's how to be really effective in BNI so that you are good at getting people to love and trust and know how to share what you do. So I got online and I found one about how to give a really good presentation. And the hard thing for me was I'm really good at selling a waterfall. I'm really good at getting people to want to buy it. And I had to really shift my brain to, I need to get really good at teaching other people how to refer me, teaching. And any rate, it was just a huge mind shift, but I gave it. And I also gave I give a perk to people who sent me referrals. If you send me referrals within the next 3 days, here's this prize, or here's this prize, or here's this prize. And I had the most referrals of anybody. It was fun.
Perk?
What were my perks? But my son was selling. His high school was doing a fundraiser for a card that had a bunch of coupons. So I bought 2 from him. So he was happy that I bought 2 of those cards from him. And everyone gets their perk for the discount restaurants and things like that, discount automotive services. I gave away a water bottle. What was the other one? I don't remember. It was another Niken product, but at any rate, I just had some perks, some reasons for people to give stuff, and off we went. But we're having fun with it. I'm having fun with it, and it's non-stress fun. So
yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the thing about the vibe, because you know, I had a really bad experience with the BNI way a long time ago. Now maybe people anyway in general might be a little more I don't know, respectful, put it that way. You know, it was all guys pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah, it was one other woman, and she had the same reaction to people had the same reaction to her that I did. It was all mostly guys, and they were very traditional, you know. Yep. Couldn't, like, were making fun of the idea of, they were really not nice, you know, about holistic stuff. So that just turned me off so much. I never even thought of checking out other places.
Yeah.
So that's good to know, you know, that the vibe really has to be right. This was
the vibe is huge. And this group was probably, when it started, it was 80% women.
That's
and oh, that was huge. We're about half and half, I think, is because we were trying to get some of the trades people to come in. We need someone who does remodels. We need somebody who does, you know, handyman work, whatever, and that typically ends up being guys that are doing that. But we've got about half and half now, and I think that helps with our vibe extensively. But one of the things that, you know, all of you know, who built organizations, know what it means to build an organization, make people feel comfortable, all that type of stuff. And as it got going, I called Patty up and I said, Patty, this happened today in the meeting, and I don't think that's good. And I mean, this is my experience in building teams, and my radar went off that, you know, XYZ won't work. And they listened. So if you know that you don't have to settle, if there's something that's not quite there, you can go in and help to make tweaks in how things go. Your personality will change and uplift and of the group. It's interesting how it develops. It's just like your own Niken team. Every team has a different vibe. Okay, so you want me to go into the one-on-one stuff, Linda?
I do.
Okay. From the very beginning, when I started doing one-to-one presentations, I remember going to a training and they talked about reading How to Win Friends and Influence People. That had a huge impact on me of what to do and what not to do. Look people in the eye, greet them with a good handshake, smile at them, talk about them, spending some good time talking about them. Tell me about this picture on the wall. Where were you? I mean, how many? It looks like you have kids. Where are they at now? I mean, just all that type of stuff. That it's gaining the trust factor before ever presenting. And for me, it became a, you know, people talk about seeing auras or feeling other people or whatever. I now have a sixth sense, if you will, of when I have reached a trust factor of some nature with people. And you know, some people talk about looking at body language. Are they open now, or are they all closed, and all that type of stuff. When there's enough body language, or you feel what they're feeling, that there's trust, I move forward. And I'm not talking, it doesn't take 5 minutes to build trust. It doesn't take 50 minutes to build trust. You can build trust within 2 to 5 minutes. But once it happens, then I switch into, well, hey, I promised I wouldn't be here forever. I said we'd do this for a half hour. So let me pull out my stuff and show you a couple things. And so that's, I shift the gear from the pleasantries into, let me show you what's going on. And philosophically, another thing that I did, I went to a training where they talked about learning how to dance with people. And when you, the dance presentation started off with someone putting their hand up, and you put your hand up against them, and you push. If you push against somebody, what's their natural nature? They're going to want to do what? Push back. And so many presentations are about you pushing your stuff on people, and you can't do that. You just can't. The other thing that I heard about was the idea of a release valve. You can give so much pressure to a system, but if you give too much, the system will blow. So you have to have a release valve, so that you kind of feel when people are getting this overload. And that has to do with, are they closed off? Are they, all those types of things. But the one that sank into me was, it was a dance. Instead of pushing against somebody, you can put a little bit of tension against their hand, and then you can lead them somewhere. You can lead it up, you can lead it around, you can lead it this way, that way. And you give a little pressure, they give a little pressure. You give a little pressure, they give a little pressure. And that, how do I dance with somebody in a one-to-one presentation? Okay. So I don't know what that's going to translate to you as you're hearing this right now, but it's a huge image for me as I give a presentation. And I want them to have an experience. I'm not going to lecture. I want them to have an experience. So I make sure that I'm demonstrating multiple things. Okay. And that's partly because people learn different ways. Some people learn by hearing, they're auditory. Some people learn by seeing something. Some people learn by feeling something. And most people already have an idea of what they're going to do if they get sick. They know they dial this number and they go to this office, or they know they go exercise, or they know that they pull out vitamin C, or they know they have a regime that they do. This is what I do when I get sick, and I'm right because this is how I treat myself, and that's it. Okay. So when you arrive to someone and you're proposing a whole new method of how to stay well, how to stay fit, all that type of stuff, you've got to get them disheveled. You've got to get them off their pedestal and realizing that there may be something in the universe that they don't know about that could be of benefit for them, right? Not you teaching them, ramming it down their throat. They have to get wobbly, off of balance mentally, and realize, whoa, there may be something here that I need to learn about, okay? And 9 times out of 10 for me, if I give too much information before knocking them off their pedestal, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but before getting them mentally out of balance, getting them curious is probably the best way to do it. If I'm giving too much information before I've got the curious button pushed, activated, it's wasted time, okay? So the way I like to get people curious is to do a strength test. And they go, whoa, what was that? Boom. Now you have information to give that they don't have, and they realize maybe I should open my ears and learn from this bozo. Okay. I do a rotation test with the mag duo. Whoa, how did that happen? Now you have something, you have knowledge, something to offer them, and they want to gain information from you. They're beginning to see that you could be a source of knowledge that they don't have. They can't explain it. Do a water demo. Maybe you're spraying their hands and showing the difference there, whatever. I'm not, to be honest, psychologically, I'm not doing the demos so that they suddenly, I do the demo. The reason I do the demos is because I want them to realize that there may be information out there that they're they're not the omniscient God about, and that maybe they need to learn from another source. I don't know if that makes any sense, but when that happens, they see that you have knowledge in that area, then poof, the process can begin, and trust is even established a little bit more. Am I making sense here, guys? Okay, so I want to give them an experience. At the same time, I know that I have to row with both oars in my one-to-one presentation. Okay, and rowing with both oars means I got to tell them about the products, but I've also got to talk to them about what? The business, about the company, about the whole philosophy. And I have to do that for a couple reasons, because if someone tries to solve their health puzzle only with the healthy body pillar, they're going to miss out on all the opportunities that Nikan has to help them with healthy mind and healthy family and healthy society and healthy finances. And even just talking about the 5 pillars as a whole as part of introducing Nikan. And so when I started Nikan, there was an opportunity sheet that we used. There is a new, if you will, sheet that Nikan just came out with that is glorious, that could be used to help bring up conversation about Nikan in a very non-confrontational way. And what I do is I do a little bit of information from the sheet and I do a demo, and a little bit of information from the sheet and I do a demo, and a little bit of information from the sheet and I do the demo. So that way, someone who's like, I'm not interested in business, I can give a little information that builds towards business and then do demo. A little information about, it's that dance, back and forth, back and forth. So the Nikan, you can get this off of the main sheet that Nikan has right now, mynikan.com. I think it's the second menu, but this came out of the convention. And the first one, really cool, our mission. Nikan is not going to develop any product or any program that doesn't have to do with making a difference in society. That's who we are and what we are. Nikan is not going to do any product that isn't economically viable. It's not economically, it has to be viable for the consumer to make sense that this is a purchase that will make a difference for the consumer at this price. And also economically viable for the company. So we have to have a unique enough item that people can't get other places, that we can make enough to stay in business too, so that we're sustainable. We're going to be around not for just 1 year or 2 years, but for a long time. We have patents for all these things. And the last one, really, really important to so many people now, is this has to be something that is in harmony with nature, both the production of it, the use of it, and what it does. So just take our waterfall, then the amount of people who've replaced bottled water because of this product, and replaced the gas that it takes to haul their water from the grocery store, and replaced all the waste that goes on in the water industry. And so they begin to click into this, and that actually builds trust. So today's society, our Gen Zs, our millennials, and some of us now don't want to purchase from a company that isn't responsible for how it treats the planet. And so these types of things that we're going over here start to ring and build trust with folks. Does that make sense? Okay. So then you might do a mag step demo. And then I'll go back in my story and I'll say, one of the things that really stood out to me as I began to learn about Nikan were the 5 pillars of health. And then talk about the 5 pillars of health and have a conversation about what it might mean to them, all those types of things. And then do a rotation test. And then come back to these 3 axes, the people, the market rules, the communication, all that type of stuff. And then maybe you pull out your Kinko Touch, or you pull out a water demo or whatever. But I like going back and forth. You don't have to go back and forth. It's just my style. But I have something that I can leave with them. So down at the bottom, it says, we're a business that literally can connect you with the globe. One of the things that attracted me is wow, I like travel would be a good thing. Having business in other places and having impact on the globe, a business that could reach the globe and not be stuck to a problem that just happened in the United States, or a problem that just happened in Italy, or a problem that just happened in that economically diverse with a business. A collaborative economy, there's training. I'm not here alone. There's other people. If you decide to do this, there's help and all those types of things. So the bottom has ways and talking points that allow you to talk about the business in a very non-confrontational way. So for me, a one-to-one is gaining trust, knocking them off the pedestal so that they're curious to learn, demonstrating some stuff, and wetting their whistle. I can't share everything in a one-to-one. I'm going to find some needs that they've got and maybe give some slight recommendations in those needs. But for me, I know that if it's going to be something of importance long-term, it's going to be a relationship, and there's got to be a reason to connect with them again. So I want to leave them curious. And I say, some people at this point just want to kick me out. Some people say, I'd like to buy this or that. I think I'd like to try one of those. Other people say, I could use some more information. And so what would you like? Would you like to kick me out? Would you like to get something, or would you like some information? I think you looked like you were curious about the water, or about the sleep, or about the lactoferrin. What would you like more info on? And that is really my goal, is to create curiosity, that they want more information. Because once that's open, then I can send an email, and I'm pretty sure they're going to actually read it because they know it's got stuff coming. I can tell them, hey, the best information is there's going to be a Zoom that's taking place on Tuesday afternoon, and boom, you plug into that, or those types of things. So now the next part for me is that I might as well have never done my one-to-one presentation unless I'm willing to follow up. Okay, just why even bother unless you're willing to follow up? Because it's going to take 5 to 7 exposures before someone typically will have enough trust to really link in. And I love to tell them that, hey, I still do rollouts, folks. Love doing rollouts. Love it, love it, love it. I love the time to connect with people. I love the time for them to experience the product, all those things. And I know we don't have an actual sleep system right now, but we do. We still have the cocoon, and I got loads of people buying comforters and the pillows, and we're about to have another sleep system very shortly. Hopefully just a little bit lighter and more portable, and some exciting things in those categories. I saw some things in the home office unofficially that I'm hopeful will be what we're about to have. But at any rate, I still do rollouts, not because I love the burn that it gives my thighs, but because I know that it's going to create more trust. Okay, it just is going to create more trust and a chance for them to ask more questions and to learn more. So I want to talk about information really quick. When and they've said, yes, I'd like more information. I say, are you more likely to review information from a text or from an email? And I get that down. And then I say, if it's email or your text, are you more likely to review your information during the day or during the evening? Would you like to consume your information on your phone or on your laptop? And my Android phone allows me to write a text, but not send it until next week, Wednesday at 5 o'clock. I can time when I can write the text now, but I can schedule when it gets sent. Okay. Sorry, those of you with Apples, it doesn't work. Maybe they've come out with an app now, but it's one of the reasons that I've specifically chosen Android, is because I can time when my texts come. Gmail, you used to have to pay for this extra feature called Boomerang, but now all Gmail accounts, by the send button, just to right of it is a little arrow, a little teeny tiny arrow to the right of your send button, where you can time when an email gets sent out. So if someone says they're on vacation for the next 2 days, but they'll be back on Tuesday, I write up the email right now because that's when it's fresh in my mind, but I schedule it to be sent on Wednesday morning. And then I text them and say, by the way, I just sent an email, wanted to make sure it went to the right address. Can you verify that you got it? Okay. So they know that I'm serious. I'm wanting to make sure they've gone through it. And in the appointment, I say, hey, I'll send that email to you on Tuesday morning. You're probably going to have questions. I'll give you a call Tuesday night, if that's okay, to see what questions you have from the information. And then I put my calendar to connect with them on Tuesday night. So that I've just given myself more excuses to be able to connect with them. So by the way, never send an email, just sending the email. That's my rule of thumb, because people are buried with information today. They're buried. And so I send an email, and I always send a text with it. Hey, I just sent that email. Wanted to make sure you got it. Did you get it? Great. I still have you on the calendar for 7 o'clock tonight to answer any questions you have about it. So texting is the only thing that everybody looks at. Texting is the only thing that everybody looks at. I keep those short and sweet, but even if it's a WhatsApp, or if it's a Telegram, or if it's a Facebook, there are so many platforms out there now. I mean, look at your phone. How many social media platforms do you have? You probably have a TikTok, you probably have a Facebook, you probably have an Instagram, you probably have a Telegram, you probably have a WhatsApp, you probably have, and how many of you look at all of those every day? And so the one thing that everyone looks at is text. And so no matter what platform I've sent it on, I just send a text. Hey, I just sent this, want to make sure I got the right account. Did you receive it? So that's my method of being able to take care of those things. Let's see. Someone asked, what is the name of the software that you can schedule emails via Android? Okay, the emails are a Gmail feature. In fact, let me see if I can do this.
So there's also yet another mail merge, and you can program, and that's also through Gmail. I think it's like $20 a year. And you can verify what time you want to have it be sent, delay it also. I think she was asking what app you use on your Android.
My Android for the texting is it's the regular texting. Every Android app that I'm aware of that is a text, just the regular basic text thing, has a feature where you can schedule it. So all the Androids that I've had, I use a Galaxy is the phone that I have, but it has that feature built into it. So let me share this on the screen real quick. Boom, boom. I think you guys should all be able to see my email right now. And let's say I'm going to send a message to Linda. We've just had a one-to-one presentation, and she's interested about the water. I type up my email about the water. In fact, I can go into my sent file and I just look up waterfall, and it pulls up other emails that I've sent, so I don't have to recreate an email. And I just copy and I paste it and I put it in here. But let's say I've done that and I put the information about the waterfall in there, and I go down to where it says send, and there's this little arrow right here on the side, schedule send. And it has these automatic things where you could send it tomorrow at 8 o'clock, or this afternoon, or Monday, or I can pick a time and date and say, well, Linda said she's on vacation for this weekend, but she's available on Tuesday. She reviews her emails in the evening, so I don't want it to arrive in the morning, so it's like the 20th one down. I want it to be on the top. So I'm going to put this schedule it for 5 o'clock on Tuesday, and I want it to be PM and not AM, so I switch that A to a P, and then I push the schedule send. So that little email I just created, Linda is going to get Tuesday at 5 o'clock that says waterfall on it. So don't know where that's from, Linda, okay? All right. So that's how a delayed portion goes there. So
Cool.
Any other questions?
Great. Great information. We needed to be reminded because of this year, people haven't been doing normal activities. So we had to get this refreshed. In our
the referrals, Brody, you do add asking for the referrals. So is that in a part of your presentation later down the road?
So when I'm at the very beginning of my presentation of a one-to-one, I tell them, I say, look, I don't know all the reasons I'm here. I know that may sound funny. I love NECAN. I think every family in the world should have this, should have a wellness home. I'm building this business. I love doing this business. And I can teach and train other people how to do this business. But I may be here just because this isn't actually for you. It may be that a neighbor who's got a back problem, whose life could be transformed because you connect me with them. So as we're going through this, I understand, I realize this may or may not be for you. That's okay, no pressure. My business may or may not be for you. It's okay, no pressure. Or you may just be able to refer me to other people. And maybe you don't like me and you want to kick me out, that's okay too. So I open the door to all possibilities so that they know the release valve is there right from the beginning. Okay, no matter what I say, once I've given the release valve so they know it's okay to say no, I can give as much information with as much enthusiasm and gusto as possible, but I have to let them know that the eject button is always available.
Yeah. I just wanted you to reiterate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's great. Great. Anybody else? Okay. Well, I want to keep you guys on here forever. Oh,
So
go ahead.
your whole meeting is 30 minutes, right? You're really good about just 30 minutes?
With the one-to-one?
Yes.
My rule of thumb is an hour. But if I've gotten an appointment saying 30 minutes, it's 30 minutes. Okay. I like to have an hour so I have a little more time to make it casual and so forth, and be done early with the hour. But that first appointment, if you go too long, they may never have you back again. Just because, especially if they weren't prepared for that time slot. It's not, you are not treating them with respect by going over with the time on a meeting.
Well, and being aware that you're not looking for the sale that second, that moment, trying to dot every I, cross every T. It's always, you're not getting married on the first date, and so if we can remember that, it lightens the pressure up, right? That you're just here to share. And if you're new, you know more about NECAN than they do. And you know someone that does know that information. And so I used to love when I didn't know something. Because then I could say, hey, I know, I don't know that. But, that's a really great question. Let me get back with you on that. And it's a great way to segue. Yeah.
So part of that 5 to 7, folks, getting them to a Zoom, doing a rollout, getting information, 3-way phone calls are huge. Absolutely huge.
And also part of your purpose, especially the BNI group, is educating them on how they can be a great referral for you. You're once again not focusing on them buying, but how you could refer.
Yeah. So when I do my one-to-ones in BNI, I try to make the first. We try to make it an hour. I try to make the first half hour all about them. Okay. And as they're talking, I'm going, you know what? I need to link you with so-and-so. You know what? I need to link you with so-and-so. You know what? If I can give them 3 referrals before they've ever heard about me, they are like, oh, I need to pay this back. That wouldn't be fair if I didn't do anything, So the emotional bank account is put into a place where I've already given them perks. I've given them leads. I've done, so my BNI group loves meeting with me because we sit down and I'll ask a couple questions because I'm like, who do I know? Who do I know? Who do I know that I can refer to them and link them up with? And I try to pop out anywhere from 2 to 5 referrals really quickly. And then they feel indebted to me. And so they're much more open to listening and thinking, well, who can I refer to Brody? So anyway, I've loved what's going on with BNI. It's a whole new group of friends. And it's one of the problems we have right now, folks, and I'm telling you, this is really, 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 in my mind, bad for us. Because of the legal climate that was created in network marketing and NECAN's shift to this customer base, we are slitting our throats. Yes, we make a little more money when we sell to a customer, and that's great and grand, but there is no incentive for a customer to refer you to someone. None. Zippo, finito. But in the old days, when we just say, hey, get a membership, and that way you get things at wholesale and so forth, they have an experience, and now they have an incentive to refer you and connect you with someone because they have a hope that they could make a little extra money somehow. by connecting you with someone. There's a built-in incentive once someone is a consultant. Okay. And we are, the only way you are building an organization right now in a meaningful way is if you are very, very regularly connecting with your customers. Okay. Very regularly connecting with your customers, sharing stories of somebody else that you helped, so that's perking them. Oh, you mean you could help with plantar fasciitis? Oh, you mean someone who hasn't felt their leg for 10 years could actually feel it again? And they start thinking of other people, and they refer you to other people and say, you know, if this person decides to get something, we probably ought to get you a membership so that you can start benefiting too. All right. So you have to have the ability to share enough stories to cause them to refer you to someone, and then you go and do the work with that someone and tell them, by the way, if they sign up, you probably want to get a membership. But what I'm seeing happening is our problem is right now, people are one and done. Shut the door, thank you, I got my sale, I'm out of here. And they're not reconnecting with people, and they're becoming really good salespersons, and they're not building organizations. Okay. Your organization is your customer base right now, and you've got to get enough love and trust going on with that crew that they would refer you to someone else to create that, and then you have the opportunity to say, oh, if they join, you ought to get in on this too. So at any rate, that's my own little philosophical thing that I think is really important for the growth of your businesses.
That's a very good point. Well, thank you, Brody, so very much for getting up extra early and rearranging your schedule to be here for us. Great information, and very, very grateful.
Thank you all. Grateful for all of you and the good things you do to share the message of Nikken and to make a difference. Now, I mean that more than ever. Those of you who were on my call yesterday, I have never in my 23, 4, whatever years it has been in Nikken, when I pull out the 5 pillars of health, I've never had people say that the pillar they're most worried about is healthy society until this year. Okay. People always say, well, I'm worried about healthy body, I'm worried about healthy mind, I'm worried about healthy family, but I'm having people say healthy society is a huge concern. And people who are willing to get out of the hate mode and get into the what can I contribute mode are the ones that we need right now. That's what we need in this world, is people who can focus on what can I do to make a difference. I think it's so important. So hats off to you. Thank you all. And I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day.